One person who was always anti-Diddy and was always speaking about Diddy as a problematic person was 50 Cent.
He would do a lot of foul shit, like behind the scenes. He would do some foul shit, like.
But I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
Puffy was playing with your booty in Miami.
For 3 decades, Sean Diddy Combs was more than a music mogul. He was a master architect of his own image, crafting a persona of untouchable cool, boundless success, and effortless control. We watched him glide across red carpets, charm interviewers, and seemingly brush off scandals without a sweat. This was the man who could handle anything, his composure legendary. But this wasn't inherent, it was meticulously constructed. Sources close to Diddy reportedly revealed the astonishing resources poured into maintaining this facade, an alleged staff of 12 people dedicated solely to public appearance management. A former assistant even recounted how Diddy would practice interview responses in the mirror for hours, preparing for any potential question. He reportedly kept a media trainer on retainer who created surprise scenarios to test his ability to stay calm under pressure. Everything the public saw was calculated, a performance designed to project an image of perfect, unwavering control.
Now, Fifth, when you continuously call Puff gay, does that affect your relationships in Hollywood?
I don't call him gay. I said.
Let me read it, Fifth.
Oh my God.
Sorry I can no longer help you guys. Soon you will all be gay and happy. You are all now left under leadership of Puffy Daddy. Report to the nearest rainbow. Dinner Thieves in theaters January 9th.
That's why he says things. He doesn't even know what he's saying is like fruity. You know what I'm saying? Like, he says something fabulous and he goes, yo, but me and you, we ain't party. Like, we need to party. What is he talking about? That's the kind of stuff that when people say that to me, I get a little uncomfortable. I get uncomfortable. Like he said something to me one time, a long time ago, at Chris Lighty's wedding. He told me he'd take me shopping. I looked at him like, what'd you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You're gonna make me mess up the wedding.
Oh, that's a nice gesture.
Let me get out of no, dude, you take me. That's what a guy says to a girl.
Did he do it, right?
Yeah.
I know you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually. But I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated.
Was there a reason you never went to those parties back in the day?
I'm just not with all that flicky shit. Like all of the stuff that he's doing, I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm just a little more, maybe you could say basic or normal.
Yet beneath that polished surface, a different narrative persisted, often whispered in hushed tones within the industry. Former employees and associates had for years reportedly spoken of alleged rage issues and sudden bursts of anger behind closed doors. There were persistent rumors of 2 Diddys, the smooth, charismatic public figure, and someone entirely different when things didn't go his way. These included unsettling anecdotes that never seemed to stick. One such story, recounted by 50 Cent, involved an incident at Chris Lighty's wedding years ago, where Diddy allegedly said something that made 50 Cent deeply uncomfortable, suggesting he would take him shopping. 50 Cent recounted thinking, "What did you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something." This and similar whispers painted a picture of alleged behavior that contradicted the public image. But without powerful voices backing the claims publicly, they remained just rumors, unable to penetrate the carefully built wall around Diddy's reputation. However, even the most fortified walls show cracks under immense pressure. The first public signs that Diddy's legendary composure was under strain appeared subtly just before his legal battles intensified. Photographers captured him in moments seemingly uncharacteristic of his usual controlled demeanor, like allegedly snapping impatiently at a fan seeking a picture outside his lawyer's office. More tellingly, during a tense pre-trial press conference, he was observed gripping the podium with such force that his knuckles reportedly turned white. To experts who had studied his public behavior for years, these were significant tells, small slips in the performance, hinting that the man who always appeared cool was feeling the heat like never before. These weren't just minor incidents, they were early signals that the carefully maintained persona was beginning to fray around the edges as the stakes rose dramatically.
And it turns out that it's just been announced that he's created a docu-series on Netflix. I can't wait to see this. The other end of that, every person who has tried to speak out about this, who has tried to speak out about the industry, the type of people that are controlling the industry, the attacks that people face from the media if they try to speak out, is always the same. They're called crazy. And an example of one such individual who went through those sorts of attacks is the actor Orlando Brown. He was on Disney, and I remember everyone telling us that he was totally insane and deranged when he was saying a lot of things that at the time sounded crazy, particularly about Diddy. Take a listen.
The requirement is you gotta say no to Diddy. If it's new booty in the building, you know he gonna get it.
Don't take your girlfriend to a Diddy party.
You can take the, but he won't you.
Diddy, to me, is the fall guy. We are still seeing a major effort to protect the big names, just like with Jeffrey Epstein.
Tell him the story.
Tell him the story. So we talking about rumors, right?
Yeah.
And we, when you Google his name, there's a rumor that pops up that he was Diddy's boy toy.
Oh shit!
Right.
Wait, so this is
so Charlamagne said
it's not true, but I told after he brought up the stuff with you, I said, you know what 50 gonna say when he meets you?
Oh no, I don't know that was going on.
You know,
I can't wait to run into him again.
What you gonna say to him?
Puffy was playing with your booty in Miami.
You know what 50 gonna say to you when he sees you. What? I heard Diddy touched your butt.
Yeah. Wait till I see him. Wait till I see him. I'm like, yo. Yeah.
What's happening with Puffy? I know you're not really tapped in, but what is it?
The last thing I saw was like a guy there. He was like, yo, he like pushed me into the truck. It really hurt. And he sounded me. Like he sounded me. I was like, yo, look. I could find other things to do for money.
The true turning point, the moment the structure truly began to buckle, arrived dramatically on day 3 of a pivotal court session. The courtroom, already thick with anticipation, fell into an almost unbelievable silence as Curtis 50 Cent Jackson walked in and quietly took a seat in the back row. For nearly 2 decades, 50 Cent had been Diddy's most relentless antagonist, publicly challenging his business practices, questioning his sexuality, and even linking him to controversial events like the Biggie Smalls murder investigation. Their rivalry was legendary, bitter, and deeply personal. The sheer unexpectedness of 50 Cent physically appearing in the courtroom stunned everyone, but Diddy's reaction, witnessed by multiple observers, was allegedly the most telling. According to court reporters and witnesses, Diddy, who had been whispering to his attorney, stopped mid-sentence. His head reportedly snapped up, and his expression shifted rapidly from confusion to shock, then to something that looked unmistakably like fear. Court reporter Janelle Martin described the silence as so thick you could hear people's phones vibrating in their pockets. The presence of his longtime rival had reportedly rattled the seemingly unshakable mogul to his core. 50 Cent wasn't content with merely making a dramatic appearance. During the court's lunch recess, he stepped outside and approached the waiting crowd of reporters. His statement was concise, strategic, and explosive. He didn't just voice support for Cassie Ventura, he announced he was personally funding additional legal support for her case and other alleged survivors through his G-Unity Foundation. He framed his involvement not as part of his long-standing beef with Diddy, but as being about right and wrong, aiming to empower more alleged victims in the industry to come forward. When news of 50 Cent's press conference reached Diddy inside the courtroom, multiple witnesses described his reaction as immediate and reportedly violent. He allegedly slammed his fist on the defense table so hard that his water glass tipped over. Visibly shaking, Diddy's lawyer reportedly tried desperately to calm him, but the impact of 50 Cent's move was undeniable. Court security officers reportedly moved closer to the defense table, anticipating a larger outburst. The man who had reportedly spent millions on image control was losing his carefully maintained composure due to the actions of his most persistent rival.
He would do a lot of foul shit. Like behind the scenes, he would do some foul shit. Like hating on, like doing things with people I'd done business with that he done business with. He would say shit that I was like, he said that to you?
Right.
I was like, yeah, it's all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and niggas don't know what they like till they see somebody with it. So they want the girls after you're done with them and shit.
Yeah, leftovers.
Yeah.
They take your leftovers. A lot of niggas have my leftovers.
The tension, already sky high after 50 Cent's intervention, ratcheted up even further when the prosecution announced they were about to present unexpected new evidence. With a confident, almost smug look, the lead prosecutor requested permission to present evidence item 47B. Diddy's defense team was reportedly caught completely off guard, objecting that they had never received this item in discovery. An intense sidebar conversation between the judge and both legal teams followed, lasting nearly 5 minutes while Diddy reportedly sat alone alone at the defense table, visibly tense, repeatedly looking back at 50 Cent in the back row. The courtroom artist observed Diddy cracking his knuckles one by one, a nervous habit she noted he only exhibited under extreme stress. When the attorneys returned, Diddy's lawyer reportedly looked defeated. The judge ruled to allow the evidence, explaining it had only been discovered the previous day. The prosecution then revealed the item, security footage from Diddy's Miami residence dated April 2018. The courtroom screens lit up, and what appeared to play next, according to descriptions from people in the room, changed everything. The silent video footage allegedly showed Diddy and Cassie Ventura in a hallway. Witnesses described the body language as clear. Diddy was pointing and yelling, backing Cassie against a wall. Then came the moment that reportedly caused audible gasps throughout the courtroom. The video allegedly showed Diddy grabbing Cassie by the shoulders, shaking her violently, and then pushing her to the ground. Diddy's reaction inside the court was immediate and reportedly explosive. He allegedly stood up so fast his chair fell backward. "That's not what happened," he shouted, before his attorney physically pulled him back down into his seat, frantically whispering in his ear. Diddy's face, according to observers, had transformed. His eyes were reportedly wide, his breathing visibly heavy. A court officer moved even closer to the defense table. But what made this moment truly devastating for Diddy wasn't just the footage itself, but how it directly contradicted his sworn testimony from just days before. He had allegedly testified under oath, "I have never in any instance physically assaulted Ms. Ventura or any woman," adding confidently, "There are no videos or evidence of such behavior because it never occurred."
Being the only one calling this out.
I look like I've been the crazy guy for a long time.
They said you're a hater. They said you're crazy.
You do this, yeah, and now everybody's complaining. My ass is hurting. There's all this shit that's coming.
50, you can't make jokes about it.
No.
The internet might come for you, bro.
All I'm saying
it might come for you.
You see it now. All of these complaints. People were damn, they were and pillaged. This was what was going on, right? And what do I get for I went through years of a hater. You're a hater. You want this and that. I'm just watching. Like, I look at things and go, when you see the new lawsuit coming with Jay, the part with Jay, I go, oh shoot, like. Then I think about it, I go, that had to be there. So when I was saying that he was missing, he just wasn't actively being out there because they was dealing with that.
Wait, do you think there's truth to the Jay thing? There's no way.
Like that. Look, like if you say, I have this thing where I'm conflicted when it takes you 20 years to remember something happened to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I go, oh, so 10 years, 20 years later, that comes back. And it's like all of Puff's problems are coming from the ministers touching little boys.
What you mean?
The laws are the way they are because
Because of the priests.
The priests touching little boys.
As the prosecutor calmly highlighted these direct contradictions, Diddy's composure reportedly shattered completely. He allegedly kept shaking his head, muttering to himself, and at one point even put his head down on the table in apparent distress. His attorney requested a brief recess, but the judge denied it, reportedly stating, "We will continue with the proceedings. Mr. Combs needs to maintain his composure." A bailiff later told reporters he had never seen a defendant's demeanor change so dramatically during a single court session, describing it as like watching someone transform right in front of you. The man who had built a career on staying cool under pressure had publicly melted down in the most crucial moment of his legal battle. This highly public collapse was just the beginning of the fallout. The instant the courtroom video leaked and news of Diddy's outburst spread, the carefully constructed wall of silence around his alleged behavior didn't just crack, it came crashing down across Hollywood. The celebrity world fractured almost immediately into clear camps. The unfollows started rapidly. Stars who had collaborated with Diddy for years and were once considered close friends began distancing themselves publicly on social media. Usher, who worked with Diddy on numerous hits, reportedly quietly removed him from his Instagram following list. Mary J. Blige, a longtime associate from the Bad Boy era, allegedly did the same. Justin Bieber, who once considered Diddy a mentor in his early career, not only reportedly unfollowed him, but also deleted deleted all past photos they had together from his feed. These were not random acts of digital housekeeping. They were calculated displays of distance from a rapidly sinking ship. The social media landscape quickly became a battlefield of subtle and not so subtle statements. Celebrities began posting cryptic messages that, while not naming Diddy directly, left little doubt about their subject. Lizzo reportedly posted a simple "believe women" with no further context. The Weeknd shared a black screen bearing the words "power doesn't equal truth." Even Drake, typically known for avoiding industry drama, reportedly posted, "The truth always surfaces eventually." These vague but pointed statements were widely interpreted as reactions to the Diddy situation. Some took more direct approaches or came forward with past interactions. Cardi B reportedly went live on Instagram stating, "I've seen this type of behavior in the industry for years. It's time we stop protecting abusers just because they got money." While she didn't name Diddy, the timing left little question who she was referring to. Crucially, 50 Cent's very public strategic backing of Cassie, including financially, was seen by many as the catalyst that empowered others. An industry source reportedly stated, 50 coming out for Cassie opened the floodgates. Suddenly people felt they could support her without being the first to speak up. The code of silence enforced for decades by Diddy's power was broken, and the rush to abandon him accelerated daily.
Oh, like it's a simple suit situation, but it's like
20 mil. I can say it.
You still have to black his face out. You still have to mimic his voice because he's like,
but his
damn.
voice wasn't even that different.
And it got a little deeper. I was like, almost like, no, that's you, young buck.
Yo,
almost felt like it was him. I almost knew who it was. You know what I mean? I was like, nah, that's... You heard what he just said, right? He's like, yo, certain things they let it go by because it's Puff. Like they would look, like he would say stuff, and it's like he wasn't like in the closet, he was like in the hallway. Now you see so much shit that you go, wait. No, this was visible, guys.
He was in the hallway. We saw the video.
You see
we saw that video.
It comes out later. You're like, that's not the closet. That's the hallway. He didn't give a fuck. Like, you can tell that he was already...
Nah, New York is dope. Because when Fab, he was like, yo, Fab, we ain't party. Fab was like, nah, we partying tonight.
He's like, no, like, but he didn't party.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, they let that one go? Like, I had to say something about it.
Perhaps the most telling sign of Diddy's rapidly diminishing influence was the report that his calls were no longer being returned. A member of his management team allegedly revealed that several A-list stars who previously would have answered his calls immediately were now screening them. Rihanna reportedly hadn't picked up any of the 6 calls he allegedly made to her since the courtroom incident. Similar stories circulated about Beyonce and Jay-Z allegedly refusing desperate requests from Diddy's team for supportive statements. Simultaneously, support for Cassie Ventura reportedly grew stronger each day. Female artists who had worked with Diddy in the past were reportedly reaching out to her legal team, offering to testify about their own alleged experiences. Celebrities who rarely commented on legal matters publicly began posting messages in her favor. Lady Gaga reportedly sent flowers to Cassie's home with a note saying simply, "I believe you." According to someone close to Cassie, this groundswell of support, especially from industry heavyweights, would have been unimaginable just a week before. Diddy's alleged iron grip on Hollywood, which meant criticizing him could end careers, was visibly slipping, and the balance of power was shifting dramatically. The drama wasn't confined to the video evidence. Diddy's final, complete shattering of composure occurred during Cassie Ventura's direct testimony. The courtroom was packed, every eye fixed on the witness stand, and 50 Cent remained seated in the back, reportedly watching, as Cassie calmly described alleged incidents, including Diddy allegedly threatening her career after she tried to end their relationship, stating he could destroy her just as easily as he made her. Diddy became visibly more agitated. Court clerk Melissa Johnson observed him reportedly whispering repeatedly and loudly to his attorneys, his leg bouncing constantly under the table. He would loosen and then tighten his tie, classic signs of escalating stress. Court reporter Damon Williams noted the judge reportedly wrote a warning on a notepad and had it passed to Diddy's lawyer, signaling her awareness of his client's growing agitation. Meanwhile, Cassie Ventura's team was reportedly capitalizing on Diddy's public unraveling. Her lead attorney reportedly requested that the judge allow 3 new witnesses who had previously declined to testify. These witnesses reportedly came forward after seeing Diddy lose his cool in court, feeling safer now that his aura of invincibility seemed to be slipping. Sources close to the case reportedly indicated these potential witnesses included a former security guard and 2 former assistants with alleged first-hand knowledge of Diddy's behavior. 50 Cent continued to turn up the pressure outside the courtroom too. Since the confrontation, he had reportedly posted 7 times about the case, each message more pointed than the last. His most viral post reportedly showed a split screen of Diddy in court next to the alleged security footage, with the caption, "Actions speak louder than lawyers," garnering millions of likes in just hours. He also announced a new documentary series titled Music Industry Secrets, which many believe will heavily feature allegations against Diddy and others. The most striking change noted by court observers was Cassie herself. Her demeanor when returning to testify after Diddy's outburst was reportedly different. She sat straighter, spoke more confidently. Her attorney confirmed this shift, stating, "My client feels validated. She's finding her voice with each day of this trial." Legal experts widely agreed that Diddy's courtroom behavior severely damaged his case. Jury consultant Sarah Matthews explained, "Jurors make decisions based on behavior they witnessed themselves. They just watched him lose control. That's gonna stick with them more than any testimony." Another trial analyst observed the jury's body language visibly shifted after the outburst, with several members reportedly leaning away from Diddy. Beyond the potential trial outcome, Diddy's business empire showed immediate, undeniable cracks. Shares in his Revolt Media company reportedly dropped 14% after the courtroom incident. 3 major brands have reportedly quietly paused their partnerships with his liquor companies. His talent agency is reportedly reviewing his representation. Industry insiders estimated Diddy could lose up to $200 million in business deals alone. Regardless of the verdict, the power dynamics had flipped completely and rapidly. Diddy, once arguably the most intimidating figure in music, watched his empire allegedly begin to crumble in real time. Cassie Ventura, once reportedly afraid to speak out, stood stronger each day with unexpected powerful allies like 50 Cent backing her claims. Nobody predicted this dramatic reversal. This case, catalyzed by the strategic, seemingly vindicated actions of a longtime rival, transformed what might have been a contained legal challenge into a public reckoning. It's become about far more than just the allegations within the lawsuit. It has allegedly opened the door for others to finally speak up about powerful figures in the music industry who believed they were untouchable, shielded by money and influence for decades. The silence that protected certain behaviors for so long is breaking. One public reaction, one legal filing, one social media post at a time. The map of power in the music industry, controlled by a select few for so long, appears to be getting completely redrawn before our very eyes, with unexpected players like 50 Cent wielding significant influence and forcing the hand of those who thought they were beyond reproach. The story is far from over, and the full extent of the secrets that might be exposed remains to be seen.